Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going over the top 10 most affordable Sword and Shield alternate arts. I made sure that all the cards are under $30 USD so as to guarantee their affordability. Obviously, we're not going to be looking at cards like the Umbreon, the Giratina, the Rayquaza, and the Gengar, and so forth. These are the most extreme cases of alternate arts where they are a really high price. We're going to be looking at the other side, the flip side of this list, which is going to include some of the most affordable cards. Really, really great time to pick them up because alternate arts, despite having a huge spike in the market in the time of late May to early June, there has been a substantial drop in value, and I'm so excited to show y'all the top 10 alternate arts from Sword and Shield that I have listed for y'all today. So without further ado, let's get into it. For number 10, we have Honchkrow V alternate art from Brilliant Stars. Such a good card. It's very simple, but it definitely captures the essence of a flying type Pokemon. It's very calm, restful, sleeping in the trees with a simple sunrise in the horizon. Not too much going on in this card, yet you see the personality of a flying type coming out in it with a bunch of Murkrows chilling in the lower branches of the tree. A very nice and simple artwork. It's the pre-evolution of Honchkrow, Honchkrow being Pokemon that was introduced during Diamond and Pearl. A lot of us are familiar with it, and personally, I think Honchkrow is one of the better bird Pokemon out there. I mean, I do love Pidgeot, but compared to Pokemon like Unfezant, Swanna, Corviknight, I personally like Honchkrow better, and it is at an unbeatable price at $7.46. It's had a 25% drop. As y'all see, this is that high that I was talking about, the spike. If we go back 6 months or so, or even a year, we see that this is the true high of the card. Not exactly shocking value even when it was at a high. But if you're thinking about picking up this card, I don't see alternate arts dropping too far beyond this point because unless there's of course a recession or something like a major breakdown in the market generally in the economy, these cards I don't see dropping substantially in the near future because if of course there is a huge drop in the economy, then people are definitely not going to be buying super expensive alternate arts. They'll be looking for, the cheaper cards like illustration rares and so forth. But if we're talking about alternate arts in general, um, that would obviously affect more of the higher end. There's only upside, in my opinion, with this card over the long term. So don't sleep on this card. And if you want to pick this card up, I'd say better sooner rather than later. For number 9, we have Medicham V from Evolving Skies. This set is packed, loaded with tons of brilliant alternate arts. Specifically, this set focuses on evolutions and dragon type alternate arts. As you all know, evolution self-explanatory. With the dragon types, we have Pokemon like Dragonite, we have Noivern and Duraludon. Those are some of the. We also have Rayquaza. How could I forget? So those are the main dragon types. So this set kind of leaves Medicham and it leaves Golurk in the lurch. They're really just outliers in the set. They don't really have a place in terms of the coherence of the theme. This card, because of that nature of being sort of this outlier card, it really gives it a nice opportunity for collectors to get their hands on it. It's not very expensive, under $15. And I love cards that have Pokemon in the background or cards that connect to the show or the game. This particular card is packed with Pokemon in the background. We have ourselves Plusle, Minun, Hoppip, Jumpluff. I believe this is Cloyster, yes. There's a little shelter here. It's really hard to see, but small right there. And we also have a Centiskorch, which is really cool. Tons of Pokemon in the background. And of course, Medicham probably doing some crazy acrobatics as a fighting type Pokemon. If we look at the prices, again, pretty dang good. Again, if we look at 3 months, it's been going on the downside again. It's having a substantial drop after about June 15th to the 17th. It's just gone straight down. I mean, there isn't really recovering for this card at any point. There isn't a huge spike. This can barely be considered a spike, this little area right here. And yeah, so this drop is again something that I believe will not be exacerbated by a large amount. It might go down again $2-3, but if you find a really nice copy of this card, and this is something I never really mentioned in the past, but this is something I personally do when I'm looking at cards. So even if I think a card is going to go down a few more dollars, even like $5, $6, $7, even $10 sometimes, depending on the card. If I find a print that's absolutely extraordinary, I believe it's a PSA 10, no question, no blemishes, no issues, no white ticks, then I just grab it because honestly, those cards, they're hard to come by. Even if you buy it on TCG Player or in eBay, you're not guaranteed anything. If you find it in store and you pick up the card and you're like, yes, this is a PSA 10, this is my card. If I want to get it graded, then just get it, honestly. But yeah, if we're just talking about getting the card, even with like a few white ticks, because near mint does permit that, then maybe wait for a few more days, see if this is really it leveling out or if it's just going on that sort of plateau temporarily and then gonna drop again. But I think if you're going for like $5 or something, that's definitely not gonna happen. Maybe just wait until it goes to $10. Then I would just say cop this card, a great one. Number 8, we have Genesect V from Fusion Strike. This is a card that I loved the second I saw it. It's definitely an underrated card in Fusion Strike. It's because Fusion Strike alternate arts, first off, the thing to note about this set is just impossible to pull alternate arts. You might open 3 and 4 booster boxes and then just strike nothing. I mean, there's no trainer gallery to even um, to soften the blow when you're opening this set. You're just getting deficit after deficit in your openings, like minus 300, minus $400. It's not a fun experience. So in my opinion, first off, if you didn't try, just buying cards is the optimal solution. And second of all, because there are some extreme chase cards in this set, again, Genesect is sort of overlooked. This set focuses on psychic type Pokemon, so Mew. It also focuses on Gengar. It's this sort of ghostly purple Pokemon. So one thing I really love about the Genesect V card is there's so much personality in it. Genesect's just breaking down with the boombox right here in the bottom left, and I love the Smeargle. This is so me, the Smeargle just sitting there. I'm not the type to get up and dance when there's a party going, but I'll definitely be the one to, enjoy the experience. I'll probably be talking with someone, having a soda. Definitely not the one to get into the middle of the square and dance off, but it's a really cool card. I love the personality in it again. And this is definitely like a college goer's room. I can imagine that, a uni kid is doing this right now. So that's a really fun card for that reason. This card had a high of about $21, 21, 22. And it's a crazy drop for this card and amazing. The volume of sales isn't too high either. If you're looking at the bar graph that's positioned right behind the actual line graph, those are the volume of sales, and that's a great way of telling when there's high demand for this card. Usually when there's a high demand, obviously the price is going to go up because supply is pretty much stationary at this point. It's been a while since this set came out. People open, and yeah, there's a certain amount of these cards that come out. But again, as this set is so hard to get alternate arts from, I don't see the supply drastically increasing, and the demand's pretty constant, as you can see. So I can see this card maybe going down to maybe $12 or so. Keep an eye out on this card, but another great option for your collection. For number 7, we have Shadow Rider Calyrex V. I love this card. Now, I know Calyrex is definitely not everybody's cup of tea. I didn't even love it that much when I played the game Pokemon Sword, which is the one I personally got. And when I played the extension, you meet Calyrex. This guy's after his crown. He doesn't know where his horse, his loyal steed is. He's, in a panic-stricken situation, and you're there just trying to help this Pokemon out. And honestly, it did not captivate me. But this particular card is really, really nice just because of the horse. I really love the horse. I could care less about Calyrex, but the Tooth Squabit and the night atmosphere, this scene reminds me terribly of that scene in Beauty of the Beast when Belle is escaping those wolves in the forest. And this is just like the majestic version of that scene instead of the terrorizing scene in Beauty and the Beast. It's just simply beautiful. I love horses. They're just such beautiful animals. And with this purple mane, it just looks so majestic. It's a gorgeous card. And as a Canadian, I'm partial to those snowy conditions, and I love this card for that. And one thing really cool is that the hooves are actually separated from the legs of the horse, which is really funny. I'm just noticing that now. And then there's a trail behind their little hooves as well, which is pretty cool. Again, a card that's had a substantial drop in value. It's actually come back to its original price from 3 months ago. But if we look at like 3 months or 6 months ago, we see that this card is definitely not at its all-time low or anything of that nature. I'd say its all-time low is about $15, $16 actually, but what I would say is this card has plateaued at this point. What will happen with this card, in my personal opinion, is that it'll be dictated by the entire alternate market. So I don't think this particular card will go down if the entire market stays at this sort of plateau. So I would say watch the overall market, see where alternates are going. I think that's the optimal price to purchase this card. $17 would be it, 17 or 18. But I don't see this card dropping too much if the market goes back up or is steady. So keep an eye on that if you want to purchase this card. Number 5, we have Beedrill V from Astral Radiance, a card that I pulled. I think this was the first alternate art I pulled from a Sword and Shield booster box. It was really fun. I ordered a Shining Fates ETB and then I decided to return it because I decided and said, you know what? I don't want to gamble with 10 packs. Shining Fates, really one good card. I don't really have anything else that I love in that set. So let me instead buy Astral Radiance. There's so many amazing trainer galleries in that set. So that was my first booster box from Sword and Shield when it came back to the hobby. And I was blown away. It was such a fun experience. There were 16 pulls that came out of that box, including Radiance and Trainer Galleries. And the alt art was this Beedrill V, and I fell in love with it as soon as it came out. And I held it in my hand, pulled a Sandaconda from a loose pack, and that was not nearly as vibrant or gorgeous as this one. Beedrill is not my favorite Pokemon, let me be clear. I watched the show, and this is one of the most hated Pokemon by the characters, and this is definitely not my personal favorite either, but it is really beautiful. The flowers. It just reminds me of going to the Tulip Festival in Ottawa and seeing this like huge sea of tulips. So this is just a cool card for me, nostalgic in many ways, but also a card that people generally love because of its vibrance and, of course, its connection to the show. Whenever you see the Swarm Beedrill, you know it's trouble. And this card is again one that crashed. It actually went up like crazy for some reason. It was around, yeah, it was around $20. Let's be clear, like it never really went above $20 until quite recently. And then this spike, this like jump in the market sent it crazily to $50. I knew that would not last, and it didn't prove to. It's gone down to $30. I think there's still room for this card to go down. Um, I'd hope for it to go to $25 if I were the one who was trying to pick this card up. Or I would do a bulk order of alternate arts or different cards and try and bargain this card for under 25 because this card still, I think, $30 is a little excessive, but it's still one of the most affordable and beautiful alternate art from Sword and Shield. Next up, we have Lumino V. Now, this is a card that I've been wanting to get my hands on for the longest time. I opened up a ton of Brilliant Stars and pretty much hit duds all the time, except for the RCSV alternate art. I don't know why. I want the Charizard, I want the Luminion, I want something other than the RCS, but I always get the Rainbow and the Alternate RCS. So, when I saw this card in store, I was beyond excited. And then I asked the guy what the price was, and he said it was $30. And I was like, excuse me, that is way too much. That was about 2 months ago when I saw this card. Now we have seen a wonderful drop. It's about $15 USD. Still dropping. Hopefully it will hit $12. I want to get this card. But honestly, if I see it in store and it's for 14, 15 USD, I'm grabbing it, especially if it's in really good condition, because I saw this card in person and it is so much better than this picture. And this picture does it to extent justice because, as I mentioned in previous videos, I love Pokemon that are underwater, but there's another vibrance to the blue of this card. It just catches your eye. And it's also a beautiful, gorgeous Pokemon. I remember there was an episode actually in Diamond and Pearl where the characters are at the summer camp and this Luminion just starts to attract all the Pokemon like Pikachu away from the whole group. And so they find it in this underwater cavern, and it's sort of like this green glow happening in it, and it's a really nice Pokemon in general. It's just like that episode showed off his beauty back in the day. I think that was like one of the first episodes I ever saw. But yeah, this was a really cool card, and I am definitely grabbing it for my collection. Number 4, another card that I actually personally bought. I could not pull it for the life of me. I mean, I didn't open too much Pokemon Go. I opened definitely under 50 packs, but I wanted this card so badly because it's such a beautiful one and it's so unique. I mean, I personally played Pokemon Go when it first came out. Everyone was about Pokemon Go at the time, and I personally remember, just like going everywhere in the city. I would have my parents drive me around. Be like, Dad, I really, really want to catch this. There's like a huge herd of Growlithe here. I need to get an Arcanine. Anyway, so there's so many experiences tied to Pokemon Go. Obviously, the set fell pretty flat, but this card did do justice for the game. I think it really did embrace the aesthetic of when you're playing on your phone. Looking up at Mewtwo in Times Square would be a very, very cool experience for sure for younger me. And this card, again, there's only two like it. The Conkeldurr, I believe, and the Mewtwo V. Personally, I'd take the Mewtwo all day long. I got it for about $25, I believe, which was like 5 months ago. And so now that we look at the price, it's actually even lower. Now I'm talking about Canadian, so just mind that. But roughly, if we translate to the USD price, then yeah, it's about $19. So we've kind of returned from this huge high of like $30, which is insane. I don't know why it was $30, but this is a great price to pick it up for about what it was back like a lot of months ago. So I'm super happy to see this card come back down. Next up, we have Unknown V from Silver Tempest. Now, this is a bit of a miscalculation on my part when I bought this card, but it is definitely deserving of being in the top 10 most affordable alternate arts. So this card was at about, I believe, $20 when I bought it. And I did not expect it to crash so hard, but I should have actually thought of this. When it comes to Silver Tempest, there's really just no question as to why this card went down. Even if the market wasn't going down, I believe Silver Tempest cards would have gone up just because the sheer number of God packs in the market, especially in the US. You can go to a Best Buy, you can go to some grocery stores and just find these God packs. And people, obviously, it's still hard to get an altered, but compared to opening booster boxes of any other set, you'll be able to pull an altar from Silver Tempest much easier if you have those God packs, which guarantee at least a V in a single pack. Sometimes even double hits, you have altars. And so yeah, this card has crashed substantially to $15, and I should have expected, honestly, I believe it will continue to go down at least to 13 or so. It should actually go down to 13 because of those God packs, simply put. But it's a gorgeous card. I've known it's a very mysterious Pokemon in the show. There's never really much clarity as to its background, its lineage, or its story. It just has a lot of suspense, uncertainty surrounding it in the show. I remember there was actually scene in the game, I believe, in black and white, where you have to like open up this portal using the unknowns. I don't really remember too well, but yeah, so there's a lot of a cool history in this card. You have the ruins. Very nice. It's been a while since we've seen a solid unknown card, so I'm happy to see it return to Sword and Shield, and I'm happy to see it coming down to a reasonable price. Finally, we are at the second card. We are at Celab B from Fusion Strike. I love this card. I have to say it is one of my favorites in Sword and Shield in general. I'm gonna be making videos soon about the top 15 or top 10, I believe, alternate art Sword and Shield all together, considering everything from the Moonbreon all the way to Sandaconda V, and this card is in that list. And you know what? It being so affordable right now, again, this is a card that I kind of picked up during a high, but I found such a gorgeous copy that I was willing to take a bit of a hit. But I definitely didn't expect this card to crash $30. I got it at like 40, 43, 42, something like that. And it's dropped pretty bad. It's been like a 30% drop from when I purchased it. Because I think I bought it around here when it was still going up. I didn't see that huge spike in the sense that I wasn't really paying attention to what the overall market was doing. I saw the Celab moving up, and I don't know. I just really wanted this card forever. And it's always been around 40 in the local card stores that I'd go to because it just didn't reduce it even when it went down. So for me, it just made sense to buy it at the time. But I can definitely see it going down in local card stores as well now that it's dropped all the way to $30. It's a gorgeous card. I love Celab. It's such a cool mythical Pokemon. There's actually a whole entire movie focusing on Zoroark and Celab, and that's again another thing connected to the show in the sense that these little mystical swirls happening around the trees signify Celebi's ability to heal the forest. It is like the forest guardian in the show. So I love that in this damp and sort of dreary location, it's bringing life and color and zest to the setting. And it's just so Celebi. Finally, we have the number one card. This is going to be Intellion Vmax. Again, a card that is under $30. We are at $20 precisely, a substantial drop in value. I don't really need to talk about it too much value-wise, but just wanted to say this card is the only Vmax I put on the list, and it's just so cheap compared to a lot of the other alternate arts. I mean, it's Infusion Strike. And I guess obviously there are the Gengars and the Mews to think about. Espeon to think about. But Intellion is again it is the final evolution of one of the starters from Galar region, and I love it's using its iconic shot, which is Snipe Shot, I believe. Which is really cool. Leon has one as well. And I love the fact that this is Gigantamax because I didn't even know what Intellion Gigantamax looks like until I saw this card because it's a interesting take on it. You know, Gigantamaxing is the only time when you make these Pokemon sort of the jumbo size, they actually change their form, like Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, or a couple examples of other Pokemon that are Gigantamax. But if you toss like I don't know, maybe Spidops, I don't think it's gonna have I don't think it has a Gigantamax form. It'll just be like a jumbo version of that hideous bug. But yeah, so this is a really cool card. I love it. I love how you can see the various potholes where they have the VMAX dungeons, like in the game. Yeah, so again, an amazing card. The price is at a solid. It's $20. I think this is pretty much at its median price. If you want to grab it, definitely go for it right now because this card can see some fire in the future. I think if it gets what it deserves, it should go up. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see a top 12 or so Charizards under $100. I was thinking about that. I think it would be a really, really cool video to post because Charizards in general are my favorite Pokemon to collect apart from Pikachu's. And so if I'm looking for Charizards, I don't want to be going out and buying like an unlimited Charizard or Gold Star Charizard. I want to see, the more affordable ones. And I think this could be a video that could help a lot of collectors out. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. And have a great day and catch you all in the next one.